Hey, what's up, guys? It's Joey from Digital DJ Tips, and right now I'm gonna show you how an iPad running Serato Remote can beef up a controller with limited functionality. We're using a Newmark Mixtrack Edge at the moment, and while it's a small and portable unit great for travel, it does have some limited features. For example, it only has 3 cue points per channel. While it does have buttons for the sample player on top, I'm not a fan of the buttons. They're kinda stiff and hard to play, especially if you're playing drum samples or other one-shots. Let's take a look at how Serato Remote works great with controllers like this by adding value and extending their functionality. Alright, instead of using these tiny buttons here, let's use Serato Remote's large, bright cue pads. You can tell they're really responsive. I can even do fast drum fills. I think they're on point and they respond well, even for a touchscreen. I just can't say the same for the buttons on this controller, no matter how hard I try. Nope. Another great way to utilize Serato Remote is to use its sampler feature, which lets you control Serato DJ's SP6 sample player. Instead of using the controller's onboard buttons, we're gonna use Serato Remote instead. Here's a song I'm gonna play live. With my iPad dedicated to handling sampling duties, I can use my other hand to work some EQ on the controller itself, like so. And I can bring it back while triggering a cue. That's one way you can add more samples to your set without having to jump through function buttons on your controller. You'd probably need more than 2 hands to do this in the Mixtrack Edge alone. Another cool feature that a lot of entry-level controllers don't have is Serato DJ's slicer feature, which basically slices your audio into 8 pads for manipulating either as a loop or as a selection that moves along with the song. You can find these on more expensive controllers, but thanks to Serato Remote, we can use it with just this Mixtrack Edge. Let's give it a go. Here's my song now getting split up into 8 pads. Pressing one of the pads loops one of the slices. I can then set the rate at which it loops. Pretty good for making buildups. Now in loop mode, I can set a portion of the song to loop indefinitely while I loop specific samples within that section. I can also set the rate at which they loop for those crazy buildups. Finally, we have the Effects tab, where we can choose from a variety of effects that Serato DJ has on board, and you can use it to affect both channels on our controller. I'm gonna use a high-pass filter here right now, just to try it out. Dragging this bar sets the filter range of our high-pass filter. Since we're in match mode, we're gonna have to press the on button first here at the bottom. There you go. Press it again to turn it off. Let's try using a different effect. How about this delay effect we have right here? Bring it up. You can also access the roll feature here. Again, great for making buildups. That's it. I highly recommend that you try out Serato Remote if you're a Serato DJ user, especially if you already own an iPad. It's like having an extra controller for your controller.